Tigers on the Rocks fans, welcome back and welcome to your Week 14 preview as we set off to New York and MetLife for the first time since 2019. I'm having a tough time wanting to preview this game because I'm still savoring the Chiefs' win from this past Sunday night. But hey, we do have to turn the page and look ahead. And that said, Dave, hey, let's go ahead and open up the tab. And I'll start by saying happy belated birthday, even though I did wish you a happy birthday yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to contemplate, do I want the big Chiefs win for my birthday, or do I want the Monday night football game for my birthday? Because it lands right in the middle of the week here. So we'll roll with Monday night. Hopefully they deliver. This team is not good enough to look any farther than the team ahead of them. They play up to their opponents. They play down to their opponents. So Giants coming up, that's the next must-win game. Do you want to start? I want to start offense because I think the Giants defense can cause the most problems.
I'd be A-okay with that. The J Love bandwagon train is getting a little tight as we speak. I'm having to make some room on this bus. But yeah, let's start it off on the O side of the ball.
Real quick to your Jordan Love comment, there's a whole bunch of people that about 6 weeks ago to a month ago were super low on him. How can you get rid of Rodgers? Look at this garbage. You guys are going to be the Bears for the next 30 years. And then all of a sudden you turn it around and it's like, oh man, they found his next Hall of Fame quarterback. And I just want to give us a quick kudos of we've been pretty even keel on this is going to be anywhere between a top 12, top 8 quarterback in the league. And I think if you look at his average numbers, that's kind of where he's going to fall into place. I mean, obviously room to grow, but we've been pretty even keel on this.
We have been. Aaron Andrews said Jordan Love has been even keeled this whole season. We might have the same characteristics as J Love. And Rodgers did say on Pat McAfee this week, hey, let's not crown somebody, but then also let's not cancel somebody too soon. So I know it's been 3 weeks, but yeah, I think that haven't really rolled that roller coaster. And we've been pretty consistent on what we've said about Love, even though last episode, both of us are all in the camp of saying that he's that guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between saying he's that guy and saying he's Aaron Rodgers' guy, you know? But anyway, I just want to give us a quick, co-birthday present of calling that one out. All right, Giants defense. In London, they caused problems. I mean, we kind of jumped on them and then we slowed down. I think it's going to be roughly the same game plan where the Giants have no fear. They're going to be blitzing. It's whether or not Love can keep up his current trend of burning the blitz.
It is. And it was last year at this point where the wheels sort of fell off, that we got off to a hot start. And then we went on like a 4 or 5 game losing streak after that. And they're wondering whether we should have took the bye before or after that Giants game. And yeah, I think we got on them by about a score or 2 scores after. And then, yeah, as far as this game goes, it's the question of like now we have 3 really solid games on tape all in a row. It's like, do we continue to do what we've been doing, or do we deviate from that because defensive coordinators are going to be able to combat what we're doing on offense? It's like that trickery part of it with Matt LaFleur and playing that sort of cat and mouse game of do we just keep with the same play calling, or do we expect that defensive coordinators are going to catch on and we need to come up with something new?
So we absorbed the hit from the Luke Musgrave injury with Tucker Kraft kind of coming into his own. He looks like a better 85, man. 85 out of him looks a whole lot better than the previous 85. But what I was getting at was Watson. How would you absorb the Watson injury? Because he's not going to go this week. It's a hammy. Last time he had the hammy, it was 3 weeks out. This is looking like probably another 2 or 3 weeks out injury-wise for him. How would you go about navigating that injury?
Excellent question. And I think both of us have touched upon these 2 players the last few weeks. Like, you're like, this offense needs to flow through Jayden Reed. I thought Dontavian Wicks was going to have his first 100-yard game. Turns out that Love loves to spread the love. and I was doing my own sort of data research before this episode because I'm like, damn, this ball distribution seems as good as the Packers have had in some time. And going back and looking at the numbers, Dave, we are on pace to have 3, if not 4, wide receivers have over 500 yards
Yep.
this season. It would be the second time that's happened in LaFleur's reign as a head coach. So I do want to get that out there. And the last time that we had 4 receivers with over 500 yards was 2012 when Cobb, Nelson, James Jones, and Jermichael Finley did it. So I think the answer is just continue to spread the ball around. But I do think, though, that more targets are going to go the way of Jayden Reed and Dontavian Wicks. And, I mean, it's like the odd man out that we've been forgetting about, but he's still been making plays in spots, has been Romeo Doubs.
Right. So, also, you're giving shout outs. I want to shout out to the tight end group. First time in Super Bowl era that 3 rookie tight ends have caught a touchdown in a Packers season. But going to your point about spreading the wealth, I'm looking for one of these guys, specifically the outside receivers, to step up. We know Jayden Reed's going to ball in the slot. Watson's out. I want to see Dobbs or I want to see Wicks just completely take control of a game, like a Devontae Adams type game, 8 to 12 receptions, like a $120, 1 or 2 touchdowns. Like I want to see someone just take the reins on that second spot on the wide receiver group.
It'd be like another good question. I don't know if either of us have the answer to this. Has there been a wide receiver this year that's had over like 8 targets in a game? I'm thinking maybe like Dobbs. No, because Dobbs was on a pitch count there week 1 against the Bears.
Yeah.
Like his ball distribution has been something else. It was almost reminding me of 2007 when we had even Corn Robinson getting in on the action. I'm like, I don't think any wide receivers are getting more than the 5 targets. And that's one of the reasons why
That's
we've
a
been
strength.
beating
It's an
teams that
absolute
we
strength.
shouldn't have been. I'm all for Wicks getting more of the lion's shares of those targets across the middle of the field. Anything, I mean, we got another defense that's going to blitz the hell out of us.
I know there's something to have a true number 1. That's a huge talking point throughout the entire year. Well, the Packers don't have a true number 1. There's something said about having 4 number 2s. Like, just get the ball out of your hand, spread the wealth. You don't know where the ball is going to go. He's just going to take the read, and he's not playing favorites. He's just reading the defense and saying, this is the best place to put the ball. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to trust my guy.
And to your point there a second ago with the 3 rookie tight ends, when I was going to do my rewatch for the second time this week, I'm like, damn, this is the best that we've schemed tight ends opened since Big Bub Tunyon had 11 touchdowns back in 2020. And people are like, is he a Pro Bowl tight end? I'm like, I think it's more so Matt LaFleur scheming him wide open and nobody's within 10 yards of him. And like I expect Kraft to have maybe 5 targets in this game. Ben Sims building off of some strong showings in the past few. But yeah, you're right. Somebody does sort of need to take the mantle over with Watson beat out as that one.
And I have to eat crow on this one because you've been right all along. A.J. Dillon has been a force the last couple of weeks. The driving force of this offense. This entire offense is going off of play action right now.
I don't know if you necessarily have to eat crow. Like, it's just now that we're 4 years into the A.J. Dillon train and Quad University, that we should be getting our bachelor degree from here soon. I think we just have to know that, hey, he starts off, it's a slow burn for him. And then the month of December is the month of A.J. Dillon and the month of Kenny Clark. And if you take a look at the weather forecast in this one, like back in 2019, it was a snow game, glorious. This one, I'm like, damn, it's going to be 60 degrees there in Rutherford, New Jersey, and there's like 80% chance of rain. I'm not turning into the weatherman over here, but this could be a sloppy game that we need to feed 28.
He's also a rhythm back, right? You could clearly tell he's a better back when he's getting those 12 to 20 touches a game. He seems to get stronger as the game goes on versus the 5 to 6 he gets when Aaron Jones is in the starting role. He just seems to struggle to get his footing and to read the holes when he's so sparse on getting into the game.
And I was looking for patterns. I'm like, is this offense potentially better without Aaron Jones? Like, you look at when we started to pick things up, that Steelers game, he had like 13 touches for 35 yards. I'm not making an argument for it, Dave. But having like the defensive game plan and not knowing exactly who you need to take away has been working in our favor. Sorry, I do have one other quick question now
Yeah.
on like the offensive side of the ball. It got brought up to LaFleur this week. I know we've been rotating in offensive linemen, left tackle, and right guard. If it's you, Dave, calling these shots, would you
Yeah.
continue up that thing, or at some point you got to sort of ride the hot hand and have your best five cemented as we make a playoff push?
With this team, it seems to be working out quite well with the open competition of, hey, you're going to get snaps until you slip up, and then we're going to throw the next guy in and see how he does. It almost seemed like there was a like the people that shouldn't have been comfortable on the offensive line in terms of their roles were way too comfortable. And this is my spot. I have it locked down and allowing negative plays. And now that they're kind of sprinkling in other guys as the game is unfolding, I have to keep my A game up, or there's a guy right behind me who's going to take the majority of the snaps.
That is an excellent point. And I know the Pro Bowl fan voting has been open. I'm like, who on this Packers team is worthy of a Pro Bowl nod? He hasn't been talked about enough. I think Zach Tom, maybe Rashawn Gary too, but Zach Tom is one player. I know he's not a household name yet, so he probably won't get into the Pro Bowl. But I'm like, out of anybody that's deserving of a spot, it's got to be Zach
Yes.
Tom for this offense line. And we will have our hands full. It's like every week we face a new great pass rusher. We got the Giants. What is his name? Thibodeau.
Yep.
Yeah, Thibodeau, and then we got Dexter Lawrence, who's a top defensive tackle at his position too. I don't expect them to wreak too much havoc on us. I've quite a bit of confidence in this O line coming into this game.
Flipping it over to our defensive side, the Giants' offensive line has allowed the most sacks in the NFL. So this is a pin your ears back, go after him type of game. I'm expecting Van Ness and Gary and Co. to wreck this game. Kenny Clark as well. Like, throw anyone in there. I have supreme confidence that they're going to pressure the quarterback and get after him. Which
Do you know how many exact sacks this
I do.
this Giants team has gave up?
I do.
Are we gonna be Rob Gronkowski and be little kids and
Yeah.
chuckle to the number?
69. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, as much as we love that number, hey, let's get that thing to like 75.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, their quarterback from the movie Goodfellas, I think he's already been sacked like 28 times. Danny DeVito's son.
There is a element of this. Sorry to cut you off, buddy, but inexperienced quarterback holding on to the ball too long. You're going to have more opportunities. The clock in his head isn't going as fast.
Yeah, and he's done well as of late. I mean, they've won back-to-back games. Like, what I have in my notes on the defensive side of the ball is this going to be the Steelers game or is it the Rams? You have two bottom-tier quarterbacks against the Rams. We did a great job with Brett Rippon and keeping him in check throughout that one and also slowing down the run game. So is it going to be one of those on the defensive side of the ball? Or are the Giants going to take a look at some of our matchups of late and been like, damn, the Chiefs had Pacheco with 6.1 yards per carry. It's a good thing we got on the Lions early so they couldn't get in the run game. And then for the Chargers, we know that they're really pass heavy. So it's like, it's going to be one of those two. And I don't want to be on Monday Night Football on our live broadcast. And Dave, you're going to be like, yeah, I see this one being 30 to 40 carries, 300 rushing yards, and Saquon Barkley ripping off like $175.
I was going to ask you, what do you think the carries and yardage is going to be for the Giants in this game? Because that's Barry's weak point. This is the entire defense weak point is if this offense doesn't get off to a fast start and keeps the Giants offense in it, they're just going to be able to run the ball, which we've seen in the Steelers game. We've seen in the Raiders and teams that we've kind of played down to at this point, staying into the game, just being able to use that run.
I see Saquon having like a buck 25. Honest, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Barry learning from past mistakes. I don't think that we're going to have a third true defensive tackle in there, but you're going to see a lot of Jonathan Owens up near the line of scrimmage that I thought, with the one exception of that missed tackle against the Chargers that his wife could have made, that he's been playing some really good football as of late. So having more Jonathan Owens near the line of scrimmage to add somebody to the box, I mean, it's a pretty damn simple game plan. You ask me once again. Stack 8 in that thing and force DeVito to beat you through the air.
I was just going to ask you that question. What is Jordan's defensive game plan? And I say, play man. Play man. Let the kid beat you with his arm. I have so much confidence now in Valentine. If Jair can ever see the field, that's just a huge bonus for this defense. We got Savage back. I don't know if Jair's going to play, but Corey showed some things. I mean, no one really got beat that bad against the Chiefs. I mean, the one play that they got beat, there's the no-call PI on Valentine on the Chiefs.
We may have to eat some crow at some point about this safeties group. And coming into the season, we're like, just hold on for dear life. Expect some Kentrell Bryce getting beat deep for a 40 or 50-yard pass play. I think they've done quite well. It's been more of, once again, passing players, and we do have to keep an eye on Hyatt from the Giants. Their wide receiver that has Christian Watson type speed of 4.3. Don't let him get behind you. And it almost begs the question of, like, do you really need to have like a number one cornerback that's like top 3 to top 5 at their respective positions for how things been going the last few games, and Rashawn Gary having 4.5 sacks in his last few games?
They are marrying the pass rush with the back end so well these last 3 weeks. I think you need to have one or the other, right? You need to either have elite secondary and so pass rush to get those coverage sacks, or you need a pass rush so on fire that gives your back end they don't need to cover as long. But there is truth to being inexperienced and young and raw in the back end, where you have that confidence like we saw in Jair his rookie year, that I think Corey Valentine shows. Or I'm sorry, not Corey. My bad. But yeah, Corey and Valentine showing that they're just young and they're just playing.
It's a very easy one. That's why I just kind of blend them together, even though that Valentine is clearly heads and shoulders. But Valentine, I think that the task that he's been given against Herbert and Mahomes and the check down captain and Jared Goff, that not too bad for an undrafted player.
You know what's huge too? Quayback. That's what I've noticed to step up in this defense.
And we're gonna need some more of him to clog up the middle with Saquon Barkley, because he's more explosive than A.J. Dillon, but it takes him a few carries to get going, and I expect them to feed him about 20, 25 times, if not more. But hey, this could easily be an aired out, pass the ball type of game there in New Jersey.
I don't know if he's nicked up or what it is, but Campbell's been showing some age and some wear and tear the last couple of weeks too, where Campbell's been getting picked on as the linebacker.
Yeah, and I think LVN took some hit from it for the PFF grade. He had like a 50, something like that PFF. When I did the rewatch, I'm like, I thought LVN played better than like a 50 PFF. And I noticed it was some of them that I thought he did good job of setting the edge. And then Devondre Campbell just gets washed out when he should be in there taking down number 10 from the Chiefs.
Speaking about LVN, I think it's, if you're going to make this stretch run, keep his hand in the dirt. I know they're trying to transform into that stand-up linebacker Preston and Rashawn Gary role. That could kind of wait for the offseason. But right now he's super disruptive, which is putting him as a kind of a defensive end and letting him go after it.
And playing off that, I have one request now. If he's playing with his hand in the dirt, why not kick him inside on third down for our third down pass rush group? Because right now, as it stands, it's Rashawn, it's Preston, it's Kenny Clark, and Devontae Wyatt. Like I think that LVN offers a little bit more pass rush help than Devontae Wyatt does there on the inside.
The one NASCAR group kind of I want to see is I would love a formation of like if you kind of work your way through the line, I'd love to see a Gary, Carl Brooks, Clark, Van Ness, Preston, or even Inikbari front, and just be like, "Here you go, stop us." It's 3rd and 18, get after them instead of these three-man rushes.
Psycho, NASCAR, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get more pass rushers on the field. Danny DeVito's son is not going to beat us with his legs. Let's tee off on this guy and get Rashawn Gary his new all-time sack number for the season as it stands prior at 9.5.
All right, one last group, special teams. Carlson was money against the Chiefs. I think Whelan's been fantastic.
He's the last couple games he's pinning people inside the 20, 10-yard line. I don't know like what the exact numbers are for hang time or net, but I mean pinning some big offenses deep, I think has been something that hasn't been given enough credit.
He's 8th in the league in punting right now. When has that ever happened?
Under the radar for the brand. Pat McAfee needs to be shouting him out.
And then I don't know about you. I think this is the game that Nixon breaks one.
You got a rain sloppy game. We've been talking about it now for weeks that with the weather turning, he's going to get some more opportunities, and he's still going to continue to bring him out. And he's been getting a lot more punt return opportunities as well over spelling Jaden Ree. I know there's been a couple of like sort of Muffy type returns by Jaden. I still have complete confidence with him back there, but I like that. Let's get K9 the first kickoff return, so then he can cement that first team All-Pro and Pro Bowl nod.
I don't know if he's going to the house, but I'm saying 40-plus yard return.
My only ask for that is that if we win the coin toss, let's elect to receive, and K9, do your thing.
All right, let's do 3 bold predictions for the game, and then your prediction. So let's start with you, buddy.
I had 2 of them. I had 2 originally, like kind of bold takes for this game. One I had to cancel out because I'm like, that's a really left field one. I have Henry Pearson getting a touchdown on offense. Matt LaFleur with his creative play calling. We've gotten Tucker Kraft a touchdown, rookie tight end. We've also had Ben Sims from the last game as well. Let's see what he has in this bag of tricks down there in the red zone with Henry Pearson at fullback and leaking out into the flat, and love finding him for a touchdown. And so that would be my first bold take. And then my second one would be Malik Heath getting his first NFL touchdown, which I don't know if I see it because he hasn't been targeted very much in the red zone. Henry Pearson, though, I do like that one quite a bit. I don't know if I have a third. I don't know if this is a hot take. If Savage plays, he's getting an interception like he did in 2019.
All right. Mine are Packers getting 2+ takeaways. We're winning the turnover battle on that one. And then I have Jordan Love going over 300 yards.
How about a clean game?
300 yards in a clean game. Yep, that's what I have. I'll just put it out there. I think this could go a Monday Night Football like Chicago Bears game. I think I'm feeling a breakout Love game where you could see like 4 touchdowns, 300+ yards.
So my one question on offense, I'm like, what more does he need to do? What's the next sort of step in Love's game from here? Another 300-yard banger, clean game. There's going to be more people that are pumping up the J Love train and crowding this bus. So then for the score prediction, then does that indicate it as well that we're going to run away with this thing?
I think so. I'll let you start with the score, but I have really high hopes for Love. I think he's feeling it. I think that this could be a runaway. I'm a little bit nervous about predicting a runaway, but I have a lot of confidence in this group right now.
Yes, I think this is probably the biggest, I shouldn't say the biggest test for us this season because we've already went through that stretch, but next to that, it's like, all right, we have huge momentum. We're rolling right now. Now let's see what this really young team is all about and how they respond with their head in the clouds and if they're going to be able to build up on that, or are we going to overlook this game and they're going to call it a trap game and we come into New York and we lay a dud. I still think it's going to be a win, no matter what. I mean, 69 sacks that the Giants are giving up. Like, I look at that number right there and say no more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have 24-17 dub in this one, and then we can really start to look at the Packers playoff push, and I'm fully bought into it.
I'm ready to put this out on tape, but I'm completely fine with having to eat my words if it's wrong, but I have 35-13.
35-13
I
Packers
have a
dub.
drumming. Like, I'm pretty high on this team right now. I think Love's going to spread the wealth. Could see a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown. I think Love keeps it really clean. And I think the narrative after this game is even higher praise for what LaFleur is scheming up and what Love is doing.
Doing a quick Google search while we're on here. And when you said the number 35-13, it reminded me of 2007. We made some parallels between Love being more like Favre and now the ball distribution and offense. The exact score when we traveled to New York in 2007 was 35-13 Packers win.
I actually didn't know that. Thanks, buddy. But
I don't know why. When you said that number, I'm like, that score kind of reminds me of a game way back when.
He's a lot of Favre in him, man.
I don't want to bring up what the second game was that season against the Giants in 2007. Just keep it at the regular season number.
Yeah. I think Packer fans are going to be very happy on Monday night. I think that Love shines in big spotlight moments. I think LaFleur is going to keep the play calling very aggressive, foot on your gas, mix and match schemes, and Love's just going to keep hitting the open guy, and this defense is going to pin their ears back and hammer him.
And then, I mean, where do we go from here then? We got to make a serious playoff talk, and who do we want to face? And
who you want to face thing is kind of irrelevant when you're a wild card seed. But I think the tide's turning. I think this could be run the table 2.0. I'm starting to feel it. I'm throwing it out there.
That's a high note. I like ending on high notes. I'm not gonna add to that. I think that's a good way to cap it.
All right, man. Well, we will be back for a live watch party on Monday Night Football. So if you don't like the broadcast, mute them, listen to us, and listen to our ranting, raving, and reactions.
And bring your favorite beverage, a cold one.
Always.
Or it could be hot. It is winter.
Could be hot or on ice.
Yeah. Whatever you like.
All right, man. Till Monday night.
Sounds good. Cheers, Dave. Happy B-Day again.